The price of petrol have risen from 800 and something naira to over 1,300, 1,350. I'm giving you these statistics because I'm living in Owerri. This is how much they are selling for, 1,300 to 1,350. Now, who is going to take the most hit because of this inflated pricing? Petrol. Civil servants. Why? Because their salary is capped. Now, a businessman will also be affected, but not as a civil servant, because a businessman will always add money as fuel don't add money. The same thing with service providers, that is people who have handwork, carpenters and the rest of them. The reason why you must get a skill today, especially if you are coming from a humble beginning. People who are into civil service today, and you see majority of them riding cars, is either those cars are being paid for by their relatives or loved ones, or they already have side businesses. They come to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and they go to their businesses Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sometimes Sunday. That is it. Now, some people are complaining, oh, why is fuel at 1,350? How is the war in Iran affecting us? Okay, let me give you a little detail. Fuel is gotten from crude oil. Crude oil is an international commodity, and every international commodity is priced in dollars. Everything concerning the transportation, insurance, and everything is priced in dollars, which means any little thing, any little discrepancy or any little shift in FX does what? Affects the market. Now, for the Nigerian country, for every year they're doing a budget to say, okay, this is my source of income, which is the selling of crude oil. How much can I possibly make from it? For 2026 budget, they use an average of $5 per barrel. So with that, they calculate their budget, how much they're going to make, how much they're going to spend. But now, remember that I said that crude oil is an international commodity. Now, the war going on between Iran, US, and Israel is actually suffocating the supply of crude oil globally, which means countries that do not have direct source of crude oil from their nations cannot have fresh supply of crude oil. Now, because of that, the price of crude oil have skyrocketed from $75 per barrel to $110 per barrel as at 7th March 2026. Now, we are saying that, oh, we have crude oil. That is Dangote refinery. So, what is our business? Now, the Nigerian government will not sell crude oil to Dangote at $75 per barrel, whereas the price in the international market is $110 per barrel. Right? Now, Dangote buys crude oil more than what he used to buy it before. Now, it means that if Dangote was buying crude oil for $75 per barrel and he was selling gantry price for 770 naira per liter, it will not be the same when he's buying that same crude oil now from $75 to $110. That is why the gantry price for petrol at Dangote refinery has risen to 1,170 naira. So remember, for $75 per barrel crude oil, he sold 700 and something naira per liter of fuel. Now, at $110 per barrel of crude oil, he's now selling for 1,100 and something. Now, filling stations that used to sell 800 and something when they buy 700 and something from him are now selling 1,300, 1,350 because they are now buying from him for 1,170. Let's call it almost 1,2. So they're using the profit of, let's say, 120 naira or 130 naira to sell it. Good. That is where it affects Nigeria. Because of what? The price that we used to buy before is no longer the price now. Now, blame it on the global crisis that is going on because of that war. Now, what is our government supposed to do? Now that our government is making excess money, they plan to make $75 per barrel, but now they are making 110. A good government will always take the difference or something from the difference to actually subsidize the price of this commodity, so that people will buy it cheaper. Maybe instead of buying it at 1,350 or 130, we'll buy it for, let's say, 890 or 920. Do you understand me? So this doesn't have anything to do with that. Oh, we have crude oil. Oh, we have Dangote refinery and the rest of them. You have understood the reason why you are carrying this hit. And to those of you who have merely turned that war going on to just religious fanaticism, where you want this side to decimate this side because of your belief, and you want this side to decimate this side because of your belief, But remember, at the end of the day, religion aside, we are all humans. Which means in all you're saying, you should consider that the humans are losing their lives. We should all say and advocate for what? Global peace. Because this thing that is happening is something that can easily lead to what? Global crisis. Now, if you are owning any international asset, gold, silver, bronze, the rest of them, I want to let you know that this particular thing going on will actually affect the price, either to the positive or to the negative. And to those of our brothers who are in crypto, yes, the market is tanking. That is just it. When there is uncertainty, investors will always take their money to a safe haven, and I think that is a safe haven. But when that crisis is over, investors will start looking for assets that will make them money. That is the time you see money coming back to crypto. Like 2020, 2021, like 2026. Because of what? After the COVID in 2020, you saw how the economy tanked and the rest of them. If you are told that crypto will rise from the ashes in 2020 and hit an all-time high of $68,000 per one Bitcoin in 2021, you wouldn't have believed it. The same thing is going to happen in 2026. I pray that this war is de-escalated so that as soon as possible within this year, we are going to experience the bull run. But currently, you have to look for a way to survive. You cannot sell your asset at this point because they're already at a loss. The only thing you can do is, number one, you can hustle more, engage in more side hustles, earn more. Earn more to, take care of yourself, your rent, fooding, utility bills, and the rest of them. And have spare money in case if there are new all-time lows, you can actually do what? DCA. This is the only thing you have to do. You don't need to panic. This is not the end of the world, and it's never gonna be. And to those of you in Iran, those of you in Israel, those of you in US, we pray for God's protection and mercy, and we pray that the heart of men who are the helm of affairs will actually come together to say that we want peace instead of this chaos. There is no need to say I'm greater than you, I am bigger than you, just that because that I killed more of your people or you killed more of my people. That is my humble suggestion and my humble opinion. So as you are going about on your normal business in Nigeria, make sure you have more food stuff because we don't know how long this is going to last. 2, for those of you who know to get money, sharpen your legs, exercise yourself more often because you go trek tired this time around. 3, for those of you who are civil servants, you have to learn how to trek because if your budget is 100 naira per distance, because fuel is selling for 800 and something naira, and now fuel is 1,350. You don't expect those transporters to still carry you for the same 100, so you are going to pay either 200, 300, or even more, as the case might be in Nigeria. So the only thing you have to do, if you have spare money, you can actually be using it small. Do not rush it. We don't know how long it's going to last, but we'll pray that this is solved as soon as possible. Thank you, and God bless you.